thermal, so should be able to see me in there.
Yeah.
So orange, red, and yellow guy. That means I'm the warmest thing inside the frame. We're looking for blue spots, blue and black. Those are going to be the coldest areas in the camera. So we're looking for them to either take shape or to start moving on their own. Normally when I say take shape, they're usually taking the shape of people. Obviously, we're going to try to keep one person in view at all times, just because we do get that array of color.
Yeah.
Much easier to find a cold spot when you have that array of color. Otherwise, everything kind of bleeds out. So as you can already see, like it kind of try to do that. We have a lot of different temperatures over there, but I'll do another example at the next location. But the cool thing with your video is I have a blue dot that's bouncing around the screen. It's giving you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment.
So you can turn towards it then? Yeah.
So,
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
So it does have a temperature attached to it. I normally, I keep track of the ambient temperature based on the Weather Channel and all that stuff for us. Your report's going to be, you're going to see it's pretty, detailed. But I do that so that way I can see if there's a 15 to 20 degree difference in that cold spot in a weird anomaly that I find. So again, I'm only going to spot check this video. This will record anywhere between an hour to an hour and a half worth of our time because we're going to do a few starts and stops. Reason why is this is a FLIR, and as great as a FLIR is, the software for FLIR sucks. So I'm not a big fan of it because I have lost quite a bit of footage. So I've learned to do starts and stops, and I just splice all the video together for you. So this one, Kyle, this one's going to go to you. Most people handle this right-handed just like this and keep the camera on your left. Try not to handle it by the camera. It will pop out of there because it's a phone attachment. Yeah. So that one goes to you. All right.
Yeah.
You said you want to talk to Ghost, right?
Yeah.
Good. Because we cannot, and I've learned this the hard way, have a legitimate ghost hunt without a spirit box of some sort.
Yeah, yep.
So, normally,
spirit box.
Your TV shows, this is white noise, right?
Yep.
So Zach Bagans tells you the bullshit he thinks he heard and puts it in the middle of the screen. Yeah, we're going to be doing that in real time. However, finding a disembodied voice like what they show you on TV is a rarity. Okay. So, there's other methods to use these.
Boy, you're hot, honey.
There's the joke. I usually have the cold heart, and the wife is always hot. So
thank you.
Now, to slow these down is a beginner method. So when you slow it down, it actually allows the radio chatter to come through. So song lyrics, DJs, commercials. If you hear "Welcome to Charleston" or "Buy a Kia today," those are the jokes I usually make. Like that's what I want you to tell me that you're hearing. Okay. So it's not always going to be that ghastly voice you got to try to make out with it. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be picking up on clues based on the locations of where we're at.
Okay, so whatever I hear.
Right. Now, I will also tell you, you're going to have an earbud in. You're going to be the only one to hear it in real time unless you share it with him. Okay. So I'm going to be writing down whatever you hear in real time.
Okay.
But it is recording.
Okay.
So just the radio sweep. Yeah. I'm going to spot check the recording, and if I find something that's relevant, I'll tell you why, and then give you the link. So that kind of goes with that. I don't want earbuds back. Earwax is gross. You get to keep those. So undo your twist tie, and then your volume button is right here at the top. I'm just making sure it's turned all the way down. It's the wheel, not the button.
Okay.
Is it recording now?
I should have stopped it. Is it a circle or is it a square?
It's a square.
Yeah, go ahead and stop it. Okay. Yeah, because I like to always just put the intro. So Charles and Eliza, first off, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there. So you're going to get the answers from the spirit box, and I'm going to withhold information on purpose. Okay. Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. Now, that's 3 different Charleses, which is part of the reason why we look for secondary clues, because we're talking 1800s, these people all had the same damn names. So the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us. However, if I don't bring it up, I normally, I would bypass it because I hate politics. But if I don't bring it up, we normally get some kind of angry response, like, damn it, you should have talked about us, kind of thing. So we're going to talk about Eliza. She has a much cooler story anyway. Eliza married Charles at a young age. So I say young age according to today's standards, not the colonial times that she came from. If we're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, you're not going to hear numbers like 12 and 14, just so you have that understanding. The reason I bring that up is because Charles, the husband, was over double her age when they married. So it was a pretty creepy age gap back then, definitely a creepy age gap now. Now, she married him because her father was over in England and he thought he was dying. He was trying to bring all the children home one last time. Eliza didn't think he was dying, so she stayed put. She got married in 1744. You don't get married in 1744 for a green card. We're not even a country yet. So she didn't marry him out of love, and it was no foul play. Yeah, people walking through. Definitely want to. There you go. Perfect. Andy's coming. Stare at a cell phone. Got the Toy Story reference. Andy's coming.
Yeah.
All toys dropped to the ground. Now, with that said, she was right. Dad didn't die, and instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to this space, right where she lives. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. Indigo's a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for today. So when she got the seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. So she had to learn from her slaves how to keep things cultivated in our weird temperatures. So again, it's not always hot here, as I'm sure you're finding out really, really fast. But once she figured it out, she moves it to a cash crop plantation, and then she gets a hold of her father to tell him that the rice plantation you can cherry pick. Obviously, the marriage question of how old she was, how old Charles was. You can go after like the names of her children and how many children she had. We're not going to go any further than that with the children, just because there's a tragedy there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a tragedy. We don't poke the bear on that
Yeah.
one. And last but not least, we'll go after her death, how old she was, where she died from, where she's buried, and
Okay.
what president was a pallbearer at her funeral.
Ooh.
Yeah, very specific things.
Okay.
So, what we're going to do from here is I'm actually going to pull out that millimeter and kind of get a read on things. We'll do a few laps around here and kind of see what's going on. I'll be honest, this was the location where we got the "you're not welcome here anymore," and it wouldn't have been the first time that that's actually happened in this location. So that's why I kind of took it as a cue. So if you're hearing anything like "goodbye, see you later," don't want you anymore, like any of those kind of, it might not sound derogatory, but those are the clues that I take as like, all right, we're going to go. Like, we're not going to hang out anymore. But again, when I have 10 people spread out, I have no idea what they're asking. I have no idea what their thoughts and whatnot are. So we're going to hang out together, and we're going to do a few laps. So nice slow movements out of that camera. Again, if somebody's going through the car, you already got the point. No readings out of this guy yet. So again, I only get excited about 2.5 and higher. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, let's take a few laps. Have you heard anything before we start moving?
It's staticky, so it's hard to.
Like, names and numbers usually don't lie, so. You're coming to the start of the store right now. You're the one letting us know what you got going on.
What was her name? Eliza?
Eliza.
Yeah. And the husband's name was
Charles.
Charles.
2.6. Small, but Eliza, we're not using that many instruments tonight. If you want to talk to us,
Have sweet dreams.
okay?
Eurythmics.
I wasn't sure if that was Marilyn Manson or Eurythmics. I wasn't listening.
Now, there's a really big cold spot over here.
On the ground.
Yeah.
So, with the ground in this location, it gets a little funky. Just
Yeah.
because we have mud, we have dirt, gravel,
Yeah.
concrete. Like, it gets a little, like what I'm normally looking for in this particular space is against the walls.
Oh, okay.
So, because you automatically have heat there.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Oh, 9.5.
All right, so we just had a cold spot against that wall over there.
Did it go away?
Yeah.
Step back to where you think you saw it again.
Yeah.
Make sure we got the.
Yeah, it was like right there.
Right about the same time I had that 9.5.
Yeah. It was there for about 3 seconds and
Okay.
it disappeared.
It's definitely noteworthy, and you're recording, so.
Am I recording now with the square
That's
box?
the score. Yep. Oh, that just said 43.1. Hello. Hello. Eliza. Make it go to blue. 25-7. Holy shit, she's all over the place. 25-7, 43-1. That's the normal average play per year is like 18 to 22, and I'll kind of give some examples of these before we leave. You got anything going on over there?
Static. A little bit of music.
Yeah, you guys might want to switch off. Again, it's not an easy task. She's like, no, I want the ghost to talk to me and me alone.
Yeah. Better start asking questions, Crystal.
What's her name? Liza and Charles?
Yeah, you better start asking questions.
Liza and Charles. How many kids did you have? Eliza, how many children did you have?
Alright. Did you like living here? What did you do for fun? Was it hot in the summer? Keep asking questions, Crystal. How did you die?
There is absolutely nothing going on over here now. Like all zeros, not even a little. Up to 1.1 is like natural from the earth.
Okay.
So that's why I go straight to 2.5. It's good she heard 22 when it's actually low.
Really?
Where are you at? You to come out and talk to us?
21.9, 62.4, 76.7. I lost what those numbers were. 21.9, 62.7, 74.9. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said. Holy cow.
Are you here?
That's a yes, no question.
Oh, sorry.
Eliza. Why don't you tell us what happens here at home here? This is the excited by this.
Oh, good.
Like, I'm stoked that we had numbers that high. see the color blue, Eliza? You know how close you have to get to this box. Make it go to blue.
Zippo, huh?
That was, I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen numbers that high in this location in a long time. I've seen them hit like the 50s, but not all the way up to 74.
What color was your house? Did you have horses? Did you ride horses? No, it was yes. No, sorry, Eliza. Oh. Anything?
So, this is what I call bleed over. Where were we just a minute ago, before here?
Big John's, yeah.
So, in spaces like this, we'll get bleed over from one to the other. So, it just definitely get some different angles. You don't necessarily try to need to keep one of us in view here.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, obviously a weird space. But when we cross that last crosswalk coming down East Bay Street, that's where the original Charlestown Wall used to be, which means you're standing on one of the first streets we ever had. So I have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived here, and you guys normally tell me the same two names every 6 to 7 weeks that are coming out of the spirit boxes. I don't tell you what the names are, but those names are Benjamin and John. So again, we're in week 4 of this loop. It's every 6 to 7 weeks is when you guys tell me these things.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily expecting Benjamin and John tonight, but we never know. So Benjamin and John lived here in 1801. When I say people lived here, it's only like 2 to 5 people at a time. It's not a lengthy list. So that's not too shabby of odds that it's the actual same Benjamin and John every 6 to 7 weeks. John specifically, because there were 4 different Johns that lived down here in a 60-year time frame, he likes to give us his last name too, Johnson. His mother was evil. John Johnson and Benjamin. Benjamin's last name is Hopkins. So we actually got his initials on that Ouija board device in here the other night, so I was kind of surprised at that. Now, the only thing I can do about this, try to explain it to you, is why it's happening. So the bricks that you're standing on, these are Belgian blocks. They've been here since 1739 that we know of. We're dealing with the stone tape theory here. In a nutshell, the stone tape theory states that any natural stone, like granite, which is what these are made out of, can hang on to the consciousness of the memories of the things that occurred here if they've been in that space for a long period of time. Now, these have been here, like I said, that we know of since 1739, and basically we're able
to a lot.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they're going to remember a whole hell of a lot more, because the more I keep coming down here, the more I keep learning, because you guys keep hearing weird shit, and I'm like, yeah, I have no idea what the hell that means. I'm going to have to dive in. So, the other weird thing about this space, again, the stone tape theory, I touch on it briefly, weeks like 1 through 5, because we don't have a whole lot going on. The Freemasons used to have a Masonic lodge down here.
Millionaire.
Oh,
You heard millionaire?
Millionaire.
Okay, let me write that one down. It's interesting. It's not super significant, but again, definitely interesting because you're dealing with cash flow. These people down here were poor, like definitely poor. These were shotgun houses down here. So, but the Freemasons having a Masonic lodge here gave it the name Lodge Alley. What's funny about the Freemasons is oftentimes, because I do use 2 of those specific spirit boxes, you guys will tell me that you've heard the word Illuminati on the way into the alley. Now, my first question is why the hell are we hearing Illuminati on the radio? who was talking about that on the radio. Like, that's
Yeah.
not a radio topic.
Right.
The second thing is why are we only hearing it in this space? That's the other piece. Now, 6 times last year alone that people have claimed that, I was able to verify all 6 times. 3 times so far this year, I was able to claim all 3 times. So it was always on the recordable one. I have usually one recording, like what you're doing, and then one that's not recording, just for real-time work. So this is a weird space. We get other terms here, like Freemasons, symbols, Founding Fathers, you name it, we'll get it down here when it deals with Freemasonry. And it is not part of that 6 to 7 week loop that I found.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting space. Now the bricks, they will measure on EMF. They're not supposed to have an EMF because granite is not like quartz or magnetite where it's actually going to have some kind of electromagnetic field to it. Normally I'll throw the EMF detector on the ground and kind of see where we're at. If it goes up to 1.1, that's natural. But anything after that, I'm like, oh, we got a little bit of something. But we have seen it go all the way to 15 on one of these bricks in the past. Just set it down. Oh, we have a 5.2. 5.2 there. 4.8, 5.30, 5.8. It's going down now.
So there's not any specific names of people in this alley. The 2 that you said?
Those are the 2 common ones that I
Common
get.
ones.
And we do
But
once
have-
get a 3rd name. That name is Jane.
Jane, huh?
And Jane is a 3rd person out of 1801 that lived here out of 5.
Okay.
So,
And where did they live? And this used to be, what, shanties or something? Or?
yeah, little tiny shotgun houses were just kind of
Yeah.
scattered about. Obviously,
yeah.
the 2 buildings weren't here.
Yeah.
But we're up to 6.8 on that guy.
Earthquake.
Earthquake?
Earthquake. I think that's what it is.
Looks like a 6.8 on a night where I wasn't expecting anything. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So the next space that I normally take us to, again, we don't spend a lot of time here just because it's a residual. It's just happening on a loop. We're going to go to another alley. It's pretty much a staple. I'm sure you've been there in the past. It's Philadelphia Alley.
Yeah.
Now,
Is that where the gunshot was, or?
yeah, the dueling.
The
Yep.
dueling, yeah.
So we're going to go up and discuss some dueling. However, I'm not going to be able to take you all the way through it like what we're doing here, just because I've been booted out of it.
Yeah.
So the end of it is considered residential. I was out of bounds when I was first starting to do this, and I got caught. Of course, I always tell the story. So with that said, the doctor becomes known as the whistling doctor because he whistled all the time. It's the late 1780s. So again, that was kind of a thing back then.
Family?
Him and Ralph go see plays together, but they cannot sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats at the play. So they talk about these plays on the way home. They go see Richard III one night from Shakespeare, and they start arguing over the new actress. Dr. Ladd thought she was fantastic, Ralph not so much. It gets even heated and ugly when Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée. They go their separate ways. Ralph puts an ad in the newspaper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor, kind of a disgrace to society. The doctor sees the ad and he rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley, we're going to settle this once and for all. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, and the doctor shot one bullet in the air from his dueling pistol.
Right.
He didn't want to kill his friend. That's usually what happened at a duel. But Ralph had his one bullet and he put it in the kneecap on the doctor.
Oh.
Dr. Ladd drops to the ground. He didn't die, but Ralph proved his point that he's pissed off. Dr. Ladd's friends pick him up. They carry him home to 59 Church Street. And depending on which version of the story you read, some say he died 10 days later, others say he died 4 days later. So it just depends. The date of his death still remains the same, which is November 2nd, today's date. So it's very interesting that I just now remembered that. Like, oh shit, today's the 2nd. But with that said, it's very interesting. We will get the doctor's birthday quite a bit here, and I'm not going to tell you what that is, just in the event I don't want you searching for it. But the ghost story part of this is as you walk through the alley, you can hear the whistles from the doctor.
Right.
But locals, everybody knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street is going to throw a whistle down the alley.
Yeah.
I do it every night. So we're going to end 1 block from here, and my garage is 1 block that way. So I have to pass the alley. If my daughter's on the tour with us, we race to see who's going to throw the whistle first. So, especially since I got booted out of here. Here's how I got booted out. This is probably history about this place you don't know. So this is where my research comes into play. The alley didn't always come all the way through to the Cumberland Street side. So
Yeah.
those bricks down there were Holder bricks.
Yeah.
Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. there's a full handprint from a slave child down at the end of this alley, and fingerprint swipes off to the left. And I'd always point them out because we all need to see it. I don't care the diversity of my group, we all need to see how far we've come away from slavery. So, my group, always, because of the gear that you guys are holding, wants to try to get a reading out of that brick. I treat it the same way I do a grave. That kid is not staring at that damn brick in the afterlife. November 26th of 2020, my entire team of 10 is literally wrapped around this brick trying to get a reading out of it. And I'm trying to shoo them along because it's outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. The new owner of the mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because, you know, Dad's getting yelled at. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving, so I didn't have a tour that night. I worked in retail management for over 20 years. I'm not working for something out of this location considering today's date.
Yeah. Today died, so
Yeah,
should be there. Should be
hoping.
around.
I'm hoping. But we're also not near the house either.
Yeah, that's
He
the
died
one.
in the house.
Yeah,
Oh,
did it?
another tour coming through.
That's down there.
Yeah, no, behind you. So there's a magazine too. Oh, by the way, if you're picture takers, it doesn't really get much better than that unless we have a full moon.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Here we
Because
go,
I want
get
to say
your phone
we
out,
are
buddy.
at like 67% moon tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
You gotta take a picture of that, babe, too. There
Yeah.
you go. All right, I'm listening.
Oh, yeah, a couple of things from Philadelphia Alley. I have the word faux.
Oh yeah.
I also have the word match. So that is all going to be 68 terms so far. The average is about 75. Take a few laps around here, and then we'll go check out the front, see what we got going on. Your camera actually likes to act up in here. I've seen that thing where it's small groups like this,
Yeah.
and you would be filming me and Crystal. A white film goes over Crystal, and it stops the spirit box
Oh, wow.
until we leave the space. Like, I've seen that a couple of times. I'm like, what the hell just happened? That's actually we don't normally get a whole lot in here, but
Come show yourself.
anything crazy? Yeah, Calhoun is buried like somewhere right around where that tree is.
Oh yeah. You said that's the oldest building in Charleston?
Oldest government building.
Government building.
So the other piece of this would be that the pink house is allegedly 1 year older than this. That's still
Okay.
standing. But I don't think there's a public record of it. I think that's why they focus on this one, because there's records of when it was finished.
Yeah.
But it's a museum now. I'm sure it was a museum when you were here.
Yeah.
But the sand that they put in the roof is still there from
Oh.
its construction.
Oh wow. Look at the sand on the roof floor.
in the event that it got attacked,
Oh, I see.
the sand is designed to go up in the air because the walls
Yeah.
are 32 inches thick.
Right.
It won't come out. It'll go up and fall to put out the fire of the gunpowder.
Right.
That's another idea that doesn't work.
Yeah.
We had another powder magazine, basically where Magazine Street is now, and it actually did get hit because it's much closer to the water, and the sand went up, but the building burned to the ground. So, what do you got? What do you got? Anything crazy?
No, I'm crazy.
Come on, Ann.
You gotta pull some sort of words out of there.
She said she heard the word hi earlier. Is that what I heard you say?
Hi.
Let's see if there's a tour in the front of the building, and we'll go check out the front room. Location.
I guess.
So,
Yeah, I remember that.
They had to put it somewhere.
well, why not at the oldest government building we have?
Yeah.
So, but from what I understand, they actually used to do just investigations here on Ann Vaughn. Like that was a tour, like just here.